killed her husband and 2 children. Over the last few weeks, she had been very open on social media, specifically TikTok, sharing videos talking about her husband's struggle with brain cancer.
The journals of Emily Long, going through 2 or 3 a night. It's about as far as I can get. These are now privated TikToks of Emily Long. You just seen her story.
Because we live in New Hampshire and it has been miserable the last couple of weeks, but the warm weather is finally here, so I'm sitting outside. It's so nice. So we had like a great day. My husband was feeling good this morning, so we went to my son's lacrosse.
These are about like 2-3 weeks leading up to the tragedy, so she was documenting everything on TikTok about 3 weeks approximately. This happened last Monday.
Game, him and I and our nanny took our younger 2 to gymnastics, and she is like our angel sent from heaven. I cannot say enough good things about her. It has been so helpful, aside from like our friends and family, to help to have her here, because while she doesn't watch them like Monday through Friday during regular hours because they're all in school or daycare, she's just like our extra set of hands with 3 kids. So like if we have activities that we need like another person to take the 3rd kid to, date nights, she dog sits for us.
The previous video, she said she lost her voice and didn't think she was ever going to get it back. Don't know why.
House when we go away, just like a million things. Anyways, that has nothing to do with the point, but I just can't say enough good things about her. So we went to my son's lacrosse game, and then the 2 boys got their hair cut, and then we went to one of my restaurants for lunch, and it was just nice to like be out of the house. My husband was feeling good. Like it was just so fun to be together, and like just be as a family, and like as the kids have like typical kid meltdowns, like my soul wants to be like, don't you know that this isn't like gonna be forever and we just have limited time with them? But the other piece of it is like they're only little kids, so we just have to accept that like they aren't living in this like bliss of like we have finite time. Our older one is for sure. I would say that every night he comes into our bed now, not to like sleep with us, but just to like talk with us about like what radiation really looks like and just different things like that. So the kids are adjusting, and we are handling it one day at a time. But I think overall they're doing really good, and I attribute a huge piece of that to the fact.
It just turns your stomach, doesn't it, when you hear that? When you hear her talk about her kids that she took out? It's like, God, no, I can't have.
My husband is like phenomenally healthy right now. He gets tired and he gets cranky, but like he was always kind of tired and cranky, so. But one of the things that we're really actively working on right now, which like is where I'm unloading this onto this video, is getting like our affairs in order. So when we went to his radiation oncology appointment on Friday, we met with the social work team and the finance team, and they gave us like a lot of great resources as far as like the kids. So summer camps they could attend that are with other kids whose families are going through cancer. This program in our state called Envolé, where they take kids who, not even just parents, but like grandparents, whoever, going through cancer, and they take them on different like adventures, like they go rock climbing, hiking, whatever. And it's not like cancer focused, it's like other people who are going through it, and it's run by psychologists, therapists, things like that. So they're kind of like putting the foundation in of like knowing each other, so when the time comes where they will need support, those people, they're already familiar with them, and it's not like a stranger being like, how are you feeling? But the other piece that my husband and I are working on, that the finance team.
I missed that. Did she say they were seeing doctors or they weren't? Or she was planning on having to see doctors? You know? Hope my microphone's working. Yeah, I didn't really get that part. I mean, if they were seeing doctors, you think they would have maybe seen some signs. Who knows?
Our attorney and my husband is contracted through a school, so he's part of the union with them, thank God. And his union leader are helping us with is like getting our like finances in order. So my husband has a life insurance policy. we have like separate accounts, but we have joint ones also. But like putting me as the beneficiary, making sure when he passes away, that is like a thing I'm having to get used to saying, that our house won't go into probate, things like that.
I thought they lived in
We had like
I thought they lived in an apartment. Why does she keep on saying house?
started the like inquiry process of doing a trust, but we never like executed it. So the fastest way to ensure that things won't like get tied up, and like luckily obviously I have my own bank accounts and stuff like that, so I'm not worried about that piece, but is to put me as a beneficiary as far as like pension policies, whatever that may be. But it has like spurred me that to get all of the ducks in a row, so when my husband passes, I will then put everything that is left to me and that is mine into a trust. So when I pass away, my kids aren't having to deal with like probate and inheritance.
That's fair concerns, isn't it? I mean, it's fair.
Stuff and things like that. And while that's like so grim to talk about, it's so important. And like we had talked about it, not getting too involved, but I was a single mom with my oldest, and I had a living will that my son would go to my best friend who lives in Maine. And while that is still like intact, we never did anything for the younger two, so like it just doesn't make sense. But it has made us expedite all of that. So as I'm going through this journey of the financial piece of it, which is like my nightmare, like I literally think being on a budget should be a crime against humanity. I have like a serious shopping addiction that I'm working on right now, because obviously we're going to be going down to one income, so that's like a whole other thing that I'll explain at some point. Not an actual.
There we go. She had a shopping addiction also. Maybe she was spending all the money.
Shopping addiction, like just I like the high, you know. But
Whoa.
it's
Didn't
just
know
so
that, guys.
interesting. Like I've always just like felt like we'll just figure it out. Like we'll have time.
Guess what?
We'll deal with that later. And like later has like
Guess what? Still not an excuse. I hope she rots in hell.
come up and kicked us in the ass, and like later is now. So our attorneys are getting us our living wills, our power of attorneys, our medical power of attorneys, and something else I'll have to look. And then the union that he works for is getting like all of the work pieces in place, because while I would hope that our school district that my kids attend and my husband is also contracted through would be kind and generous as we go through this journey, I don't trust anybody. So I want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row as far as like our education of like what his rights are and things like that. The FMLA piece is pretty cut and dry, but like there's a lot of other factors that go into it.
She was so detailed about every little thing, like controlling. I think that's kind of has to be like controlling. She didn't have control of every little thing.
And then obviously like our assets, my husband's car, our house, his accounts, things like that, making sure that we do as much as we can now, because while I think we are going to have 2 solid years, like you just never know, but the moral of my video is as we go through this,
right?
I probably will be making more videos on it in the future as far as like what we've done, but also like probably pleading and begging for anyone with like a financial brain to give us advice. So if you have advice of things that I should do, things we should put in order besides the things that maybe I've listed, please say them to me. Due to like my PTSD, my bank accounts, my retirement, my everything is only listed under me, so I don't have anyone.
PTSD, she had shell shock also, huh? She had to let us know she had shell shock, so what she did was excusable.
like tied to those, like that I don't see an issue of. But if you have ever gone through something like this, or maybe you're a financial advisor or anything, like send it my way. I'll take any advice. But lastly, and I've said it a million times, but I'll probably say it in every single video, I just want to thank everyone who has reached out, who has left comments, giving ideas, and talking about success stories. Again, thanking all of my friends and my family for supporting us. I just sent like a big text out today to all of our friends who have like kids in our friend group, just kind of explaining what we've said and like the immense guilt that I feel that I even have to put this on their shoulders. And
so she did have the children in some kind of a group.
How thankful I am for all of them, because, you know, I have 268 unread text messages, and while people might think I'm not responding to them, I do read all of them, and then I mark them back as unread because I just don't have like the bandwidth emotionally to respond yet.
Oh, I got 268 text messages. You know who she reminds me of? I can't help it. She reminds me of Lynn Reid. I'm not saying Lynn Reid is a killer or anything like that, but the way she talks, the way she acts, I got 269 messages, and I'm surprised this woman didn't say things are hectic. It's so hectic. You know what I mean?
Like, I see everyone's text messages. They mean so much to me. And just like people sending us positive thoughts, like, you don't have to tell me, just do it, because I'll take any good vibes and positivity that will come our way. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. It really does mean a lot. And while people can't cure glioblastoma, like the awareness and the conversations that people will have from this is what, like, my hope is that it will spur more conversation, because this is just so brutal and no one should ever go through it alone. It's very isolating, and I'm thankful that I don't have to be lonely. So thank you guys. We appreciate everyone like thinking positively for us when we sometimes might not be thinking that positively for ourselves. So I wanted to talk about where we're at as far as treatment and like what our options are and like what we are thinking about doing and what it would look like for our family. And it's because it's like weighing so heavily.
Whoa, wait,
but I also would like die for someone's opinion. Do I think I'm ever going to get my voice back? I don't think so. So as I mentioned in some of my videos, the standard of care is 6 weeks of radiation.
Check out the bar behind there. Wow. Wow. See that? I can't zoom in right now, but there's quite the assortment of alcohol adult beverages. Wow. Maybe she was sipping on Grandpa's cough syrup, as they call it. Don't know. Wow.
And chemo, and the chemo is a pill. The radiation is Monday through Friday. Then you take a month break, and then you do 6 months of the chemo pill.
On and on about the details.
So,
with that being said, you got to go on and on about all the details of it, just like every little detail. You know, I don't know. It seems like everything.
We were, in addition to that, offered 2 other alternatives. So the first alternative is a second chemo pill. It's called Lomustine, and the data is like sent out for this. So it's not in a trial phase. It's FDA approved at this point. So it would be coinciding with the chemo pill that he would originally be taking, and it's
she was kind
proven
of a hefty
to
girl
be
too,
successful.
A little on the hefty side. Wow. observation.
For people who have the protein mutation that he has, which is an MGMT protein mutation, and then also for people who are recovering well, who are thriving post-op, and that is my husband. Like, he's doing great. So those two things have given them the green light. Both MGH and Dana-Farber said they would feel confident giving him this second chemo pill.
I thought it was kind of strange how she always paused the TikTok. Like, she'd always go back and forth. Like, I mean, it's not like she was really getting pretty or anything, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know why the pause so much. Look at that bar. Huh.
Carefully with it are not white blood cell counts, but platelet levels and blood counts. I don't know, it's too much, but platelet levels are a big deal. So they would be tracking that constantly. And if his levels dropped below a certain amount, which 59% of people who took this second chemo pill needed some sort of intervention.
Who's in the background?
It could be blood transfusions, different immunotherapies.
Should we see? No, we can't see. She was looking that way. I wonder if it was one of the kids. Oh my gosh. So sad. Oh, one of the kids. Testing my mic. Testing my mic. My mic.
They said that they have lots of things up their sleeves to fix that. 59% of people did need intervention, like I said. But if they dropped below a certain level, they did interventions and nothing worked, they would have to stop all treatment. And that is not just the secondary chemo pill, that is all chemo, both pills, and radiation. So that would be all treatment ceases, which is scary. But in the study, none of them had to stop. While 59% needed intervention, 0% of them had to stop taking treatment. And for me, I was like, okay, like, that seems promising. The extension of life on average was 18 months, which, like, to me and you, that's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. But to someone who has 12 months to 5 years maximum to live, 18 months is a majority of their life.
It always comes across as she's trying to justify what she's about to do. She's trying to justify it. Just what I see and hear
at this point. So the other option that we were given was a trial, and it is very rare for a pre-reoccurrence clinical trial to be available. MGH and Dana-Farber each there's one spot a month for this trial, and MGH and Dana-Farber split it, so they alternate every other month. And this month was MGH, which I don't think would have mattered because we're at both hospitals, but and my husband qualified for it. So we are in the phase of talking about that. And I want to preface everything with, I will never voice my opinion. I will never tell my husband what to do. I have lots of thoughts, but I will never, ever, ever say them to my husband, and I would never lead him in one direction because it is not my life, and I would never want my choice to be unsuccessful and then him to resent me, and also me to live with that guilt for the rest of my life that, like, I made it so that my husband didn't make it. So originally,
my husband didn't make it. Huh. So she thought the best thing to do would be take them all out. In her mind. I made it. But he didn't. She couldn't get her way.
They told us that all radiation, chemo, therapies, sorry, I have a candle lit and it scared me. I thought my whole house was on fire. Would have to be done in Boston. So that would mean either my husband had to drive 3+ hours.
A little jumpy, huh? She thought her house was on fire? What is she gonna, oh my gosh. Not even gonna say it.
Day, or he would just stay in Boston, which either of them would be. I don't want him driving, but I would be fine with him staying in Boston Monday through Friday. Obviously it sucks, we will miss him, but if that's his choice, like, we can make it for 6 weeks. And there was the control arm, which is standard of care, and then there's 3 additional arms, which is like 3 additional treatments basically. So 2 of those treatments would be in an infusion. So that would mean 2 to 3 days a week, Monday through Friday, he would be getting an infusion, and that would be done. That has to be done in Boston. That can't be done anywhere else for consistency.
They said that she did this act, tragedy of her family. It was like 5, 6, 7 in the morning. 5 in the morning. She seemed like she just stayed up all night, didn't it? She was just all up all night, thinking what she was gonna do.
Control purposes, obviously, because like it's science. And then the 4th option would be a pill, which can be done at home. They did clear him that he could do his chemo and radiation from our local hospital because we have a really good cancer care center here, but that anything in addition, if he got those 2 infusion arms, he would have to go to Boston. So we're in the decision-making phase. We did sign the consents. We had a consult with our neuro-oncologist from MGH on Friday, and we asked 16,000 million questions. And my husband is really for the trial. I feel internally hesitant because there's no data, because it's in trial, which is understandable, but it just feels like we're gambling, and I want my husband to stay here. So I feel anxious but excited because I love science and I think it's amazing, and I would love for him to be in the breakthrough of glioblastoma.
She may not been,
really...
I don't think she had much faith in God. Sorry. She always talks about science. Maybe she was a Scientologist. Could have been a Scientologist. Not that Scientologists go around killing people, but sorry, I have faith.
I did make him make me one promise, was that, because again, they want the first course of treatment to be the most intense. Like, you give it 1,000% on the first course of treatment to ensure that you're giving yourself the best shot moving forward. Because, as I've also said, recurrence is worse every single recurrence. And what worked for you the first time does not mean it's going to work for you the second time. What works for majority doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Like, they literally know nothing, and they will openly admit this. This is not just me being negative. They will say they do not know anything about glioblastoma. Every time they feel like they have their hands wrapped around it, they're totally thrown for a loop. So it's not just me being negative. It is like the oncologist saying we do not understand kind of, this cancer.
All cancer, right? Or else it would be cured, but...
Which is so insane. But, like I said, I made him make me one promise, and this might be unethical. So for the scientists, because I have such a scientist-based following, that if he got picked, because you're randomly selected by computer for the arm, if he got picked for the control, which would just be standard of care, I made him promise me that he would pull out of the trial. Because if we're going to give it 150%, I'm sorry, you have 3 kids, a wife, a life, you are going to take the second chemo pill. Like, I'll literally pull you out by your fucking hair. Like, we're doing the best that we can. If he feels passionately about the trial, I'm all for it. But if he gets the control arm, he's coming out and he's going to do the second chemo pill. So, sorry to our doctors, sorry to science. It's a dog-eat-dog world. But I would just love to hear people's thoughts on it.
We are.
Like, what do you guys think? Am I being crazy? Am I being too neurotic? Should I just let it be? I don't know. It's wild. It's a wild time, but I'm excited to get things going.
We're still not feeling sorry.
Did the simulation.
Okay.
Mapping of his brain for his radiation on Thursday, and that was great. Just like made me feel like we're really moving at a fantastic pace, and like we are like on the brink of starting treatment. And I will go into a second video on a conversation that we had with his radiation oncologist, which was kind of a kick in the gut, but we're gonna make it through. It's fine. Like, we're gonna figure it out. It'll all be great. Thank you to everyone. All of your suggestions and comments and texts and calls and well wishes and likes and all the things mean a lot. We really appreciate everyone like thinking positively for us when we sometimes might not be thinking that positively for ourselves. So,
all right, guys. Thank you for watching. Please give the likes up, thumbs up. I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Bye.